And welcome inside the Backstage Pass. It is a Friday, October 7th. Week's gone in October. It's hard to believe here as we approach the weekend. And of course, counting down the weeks now to the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays out there too as well. Back here on the show, again on the YouTube channel and at the Sports Guys podcast.com, where you can catch all the shows that are archived out there. We do video and audio too as well. Presented by our friends at Hank Jr. Productions and Bangtail Whiskey. Pleased to welcome back in one of my favorites out there. She's Hung Over You, and of course, that's the latest single out there across all the digital platforms. Shantaia joins us on the show live from Nashville. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Brandon?
It's been a while since we had talked. I'm glad we got to track each other down and text the other day and just had some great discussions. And I said, with this song, which I feel like in reviewing all these albums and singles that I've done now, it's top 10 to me. You guys have pushed this in Canadian country radio. Tell me about this one, and we're going to hear you sing this on the show today. But this is a fantastic song, and I'm not afraid to say top 10 at radio right now for me.
Well, thank you. I mean, this song, I actually wrote it over a year ago and took it into the studio over a year ago and actually recorded 3 songs. And this was in the batch of potential singles. So when I wrote it, I actually wrote it with my friend Vanessa Marie Carter, fellow Canadian girl.
Mhm.
And we brought in Tyrone Carricker, who brought a lot of Sam Hunt inspired melodies and lyrics because he plays for Sam Hunt and he's like best friends with Sam. So it was really just such a fun process writing this song with them. And I kind of wanted to get this sad girl summer bop. Like the music, the melody is very upbeat. And you could mistake it as a happy song, but then when you actually listen to the lyrics, it's about heartbreak and going through it. So and kind of realizing that you've been trying to mask this heartbreak with a whole lot of bad habits. So it's just it's fun to kind of play with something that sounds fun and upbeat and happy, and then it's lyrically not. So
that's what I took from it too. Exactly what you just said right there was the fun and upbeat part of it too. And then you look back and you listen to the lyrics very closely and you go, that's a little bit of heartbreak. So I can kind of feel both of the emotions with the rise and falls of the song. And of course, what you guys did. I thought the instruments, tell me about the recording process, stepping in there and getting it like the master production, the production on file there with the instrumentation. That had to be fun too, right?
Yeah. So it was my second time working with Grady Saxman, who's based here in Nashville, and he's just so great at like listening what I want, but then also bringing in a lot of elements that maybe I wouldn't have thought of. And he assembles an all-star band every time, and they were just like super hyped about the songs, excited to go in whichever direction. The band process was amazing. We did a whole day of recording. We were recording the three songs and just like bang, bang, bang. We had 3 songs. And then by the next day I went and recorded vocals and in like a week and a half, I had some mixes on these songs. And I think last time I talked to you, I was working with somebody out of Toronto and so this was a new switch for me working in Nashville, and I love every aspect of it. It's thorough, but it's quick, and it's just like an adrenaline rush every time you step into the studio.
Tell me about another one you guys had put out before Hung Over You. Broke to Brand New was something that I was, again, anytime it catches my attention, I'm going to talk about it here on the show too. I thought it was another great arrangement for a tune, and again, sending that. We've all felt that in our life, or at least some portion of that too. With that phrase and that title, where did this originate from? Because that's a great title for a song that I think people can go through life experiences and really feel that tune.
Totally, yeah. So funny enough, I just moved to Nashville. I was only a couple months in, and I was out playing a gig at the Row in Midtown, and in between whoever was singing right before me and me going up, I was taking my guitar out of my case and overheard this couple in a booth talking to another couple saying that they just bought this, broke down truck that was so brand new to them. Like it had nothing to do with what I related it to. And I heard broke down and brand new. So I wrote that in my notes. And I love alliteration in songs and the double B's. So I was like, okay, broke down, brand new. Okay. Wrote it down and went home that night after my gig. And wrote the chorus and I changed it to broke to brand new, and made it about a relationship, and you know, honestly enough, moving to a whole new country and my boyfriend staying back in Canada, I kind of felt like I was just feeling a lot of feelings. Are we gonna break up through this? Like, all this stuff. It's just like you just can't help but think these things, and we're still together, and we're good, we're stronger than ever. But when you first move away, you kind of start feeling some intense feelings, and that's kind of what got me on that, I think, thought process was like, how do I go from feeling broke to brand new? So yeah, I brought it to some friends who I sent them the course that I had wrote in like 5 minutes, and they were like, don't finish this. We want to finish this with you. So I sent it to like them. They kind of thought on it. We got all together and like finished the song, and listening back to just like a stripped down demo that we recorded, me and Brittany Knott, and we all started crying in the room. Like, it was just one of those songs that you felt in your gut was really special. So that song went 33 for me independently at Canadian radio, and got me into a lot of really cool things this year. So I'm so grateful for that song.
And you should be. And I tell you what, this talent coming out of Canada now, we were just talking about some of these great singers that are doing some of these reality shows, and you look at some of the great people like Megan Patrick, who we just had on a couple of weeks ago, and Madeleine Merlot, who we're going to have here in a few weeks. I mean, what is it? I don't know. Something I use this phrase, like something in the water when it comes out of Canada, because this talent, this rush or push right now from things that are crossing my desk, I'm going, wow, this is some amazing talent coming out of your home country too.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think part of it too is that like a lot of us, like you're talking Megan, Madeline, Tennille Arts, like a lot of Tennille Towns, a lot of us have to we have to figure out how we can cross the border and come to America, because it's a whole process. But this is where we need to be. We need to be in Nashville, and this is where it's happening. And so we work our butts off to try and figure out how we can do that and how we can make it sustainable. And when we're here on visas, we can only work doing music. We can't do anything else. So it just kind of, I think, lights a bit of maybe a bigger fire than everybody else. Like it just creates a burn that we just, it's like, you got to do it or you got to go home. So. So yeah, I think that we're all just kind of like working our butts off, just trying to make it happen.
Well, you've been doing that too through the songs we're talking about. And of course, we're going to get through Had a Good Weekend, and of course, the single, the acoustic version. I'm going to go back and talk about the EP Chapter 1. So we got some topics to cover over the next 15 or 20 minutes too, because I'm a huge fan of music, and I love the songs you've put out there too. And again, everything we're talking about here, guys, is available across all the platforms wherever you download or stream music. You guys can check it out there with Shantaia. Well, if you got that, I would say the good weapon out there, the guitar close by, the instrument that makes it happen, no doubt. We're going to hear a couple songs.
Actually, too. I just got an endorsement with PRS Guitars, so huge shout out to them. And
there you go. I like it. Now look at the neck on that thing right there. That's a beauty.
Look at it, right? These are gorgeous.
I love that, man. Well, congratulations on getting that endorsement deal, no doubt. And
thank you. You know what? I'm terrible. I had my Larrabee out here, and I was like, no, I got to use the PRS. It was packed up from my write yesterday. So I got to do the whole tuning song real quick.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm going to go through some promos while you do that too, and you just let me know when you're ready. So, guys, tomorrow night at the Golden Nugget, Lake Charles, Louisiana, that's the place to be. It'll be our hometown boy, Clay Walker, playing there. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, too. We'll be out there kind of kicking it with him, listening to all those great hits. I think he had 16 number ones and 24, something like that, 2024 top 16. So, I'm pretty close on that, too. I can tell you that 16 number ones is pretty close with Clay Walker. So that's tomorrow night. And, of course, coming up next week here on the show, some great shows. Texas country legend Pat Green is going to be joining us, as well as Nashville recording artist. You know him, you love him for the last 20 years. He's the one that made Coupe de Villes popular again in his songs. Joe Nichols is going to come back here on the Backstage Pass. Madeleine Merlot, and, of course, we got a couple of those great American Idols coming up here. Noah Thompson and Hunter Girl here in just a few weeks here on the Backstage Pass. So we're just jam-packed. That's the way it goes.
I love it. Good company I'm keeping.
You are keeping good company, too. Here it is, Shantaia on the Backstage Pass. Take it away.
we couldn't fix it, then why am I crying? I can't deny it, or I would be lying. All the good and the bad, everything that we had left me in the dark, and it's all coming back. I'm just so sick of being sad. How do I go from feeling broke to brand new? Will I always feel jaded, like love's overrated? Got trust issues, got me feeling degraded, like I'm always naked. Where did I go wrong? Thinking we were laughing long, but I guess I just so happy. Now I go from feeling broke to brand new. They say when one door closes, another one opens. All I got is a window with glass that is broken. Tempering you and your no perfect view, shattered and used, and I can't see through. Hell am I supposed to do? How do I go from feeling broke to brand new? Will I always feel jaded, like love's overrated? Got trust issues, got me feeling degraded, like I'm always naked. Where did I go wrong? Thinking we were laughing long, but I guess I just so happy. Now I go from feeling broke to brand new. I'm second guessing while I'm still reflecting. I'm left asking these questions. I'm still asking these questions. How do I go from feeling broke to brand new? Will I always feel jaded, like love's overrated? Got trust issues, got me feeling degraded, like I'm always naked. Where did I go home? Thinking we were laughing long, but I guess I just don't have a clue. How I go from feeling broke to brand new. How do I go from feeling broke to brand new?
That new guitar is beautiful right here on the backstage pad. That sound is incredible. Love that too, especially showing off the beautiful guitar, the body, the neck, everything there too. And congratulations, Shantaia, back here on the show here on the Backstage Pass, again, powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Big weekend of football coming up. It's going to be a good one with the Red River Showdown, Oklahoma, Texas, up there at the Cotton Bowl, and of course Texas A&M, Alabama, and MLB playoffs. My favorite time of the year for sports. I just love it. High school football. I mean, if you got a little something out there for somebody, you find something on TV to watch out there. And that and good music, that's what makes it a grand slam of sports and music out there too. We'll take a quick timeout, come back, talk about a lot of different songs out there, and more with Shantaia here on the Backstage Pass timeout for one of our sponsors, Bangtail Whiskey, and of course coming right back here on the show here. If you guys are tuning in on the YouTube channel or the website, feel free to leave some comments and ask some questions. I don't want to be the only person on the broadcast here asking questions here to the artists that we get to interview each and every day. Coming right back. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And back here on the show again tomorrow night, Clay Walker at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Yep, one day in Texas, one day in Louisiana. And, of course, the DraftKings Sportsbook just opened there just a couple of months ago. So if you want to play some bets this weekend on that, feel free to get out there, too, because you can't do it in Texas. You got to go to Louisiana to place your bets out there for that DraftKings Sportsbook. I'll probably place a little minor wager on some game out there that I want to do, too, as well. But I know it's not good. And I say promote it too, but I always like to have a little fun and stuff like that too at the same time. Drink specials. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch tomorrow night in Clay Walker, 8 o'clock at the Golden Nugget in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Back here with Shantaia on the Backstage Pass. Hey, I want to go back to chapter 1 of the EP. I believe this is when you and I got to meet in 2020. I'd been doing the show probably about a year and a half, somewhere in there. And I love the song that you did called Paper Town. You guys have put that on that particular EP and 2 Cents. And of course, I believe you had one called Dry Whiskey, if my memory is correct. Yeah. I'm looking at nothing in front of me right now. So I'm just going back to
great memory.
The eidetic memory. I'm like, come on now.
I don't even remember that far back.
Which has been a couple of years ago. I guess tell me a little bit about what you remember most about just getting some music, great music out to your fans. And also, I mean, you've done well at Canadian country radio. We've talked about that so much here on the show, but that, to me, that was just a great EP from a great artist. It really was.
Thank you. You know, I learned a lot from that whole process. It was the first time that I felt like I was putting music out that was just closer to what I was wanting. I don't think I completely nailed it on the head yet. Like it was definitely kind of like a little bit of a soul searching, that whole experience. And I think that's also why I decided to call it Chapter 1. Was I knew it was just like the building blocks to the rest of what I was about to, start writing and putting out. And I felt like it was a good starting point. And the team that I was working with then, it took me like 3.5, almost 4 years to put that EP out. And so it was just a lot of highs and lows and learning curves and all the things. So I think I remember that the most. Thinking back to that was just learning so many things about the business and myself as an artist. And I listen back to those songs and, I just think how far I've come. I love those songs. I think they represent like a huge part of me. And a huge part of my journey. But I think now, like, it's so great to be in Nashville writing every day because my writing has just become so much better. And now I'm much more confident as a songwriter. And I want, I'm working on an album right now, putting it out in the new year. And now I can say like every single song on that record is going to be co-written by me. And a lot of those ideas I brought to the room. So with that EP, it was only 2 songs, 2 of the 4 that were mine. And so it's just really cool to see how far I've come.
It really has. Hey, congrats on the new album. We're definitely going to have you back and talk about that in 23 when it comes out. And to say you co-wrote that is definitely coming a long way on your journey. And like I said, I've been following you there since you guys had put out that in 2020, even before that a little bit too. So it's just always good to see. I love seeing artists evolve. And of course, every Friday comes out, it's like new music, this and singles, and we're ready for new projects and things like that. So I can't wait to continue to follow you on this journey. Before I have you play the next one, tell me about this one. You guys had worked some cool things. You released it as a single, and then I saw the acoustic version out there for Had a Good Weekend. Yeah. Which is another one of my favorites out there. Tell me about how, I guess working with teams out there, it's always cool to say this single's going to drop this day, but then you kind of put a little, your own spin on it when you take out some of the instrumentation and you add your acoustic flavor to it, which I loved both versions of it, no doubt. But the acoustic one just really, to me, was like, the eyes just, oh my God, she has that side of her. Like, I'm just super talented. It's these beautiful vocals, and it makes it, you stand out so well with just a guitar in your hand, and it just, just spot on vocals with something like that. Where did that one kind of come from? Give us a little backstory of Had a Good Weekend.
I feel like Had a Good Weekend actually kickstarted like a whole new me, and this whole new confidence as a songwriter. It's funny. I was still working with my previous producer at the time when I wrote that one, and I had Ryan Sorstad, who's written on a ton of my stuff. He wrote on Broke to Brand New. He's a fellow Saskatchewan native, but he's a vet here in Nashville. Has been here for, I think, close to 10 years. And he was in Saskatchewan, actually, when his family was doing seeding or harvest. I can't remember when it was, but it was a rainy day and he couldn't be out on the field. So he drove into Saskatoon and we sat down and I was like, hey, you know, I know it's rainy and we could write something sad and droopy, but I want to write something upbeat and fun. I've been working on this idea. And I played him. I wrote the first verse. I played him that. And I said, and I've got this melody for the chorus. And it was like that falsetto flip that we don't need a reason. And he was like, oh my God, yes, like, let's write this. And I didn't have a hook for it. I didn't know what it was going to be called. I just knew it was like going to be this party, upbeat, like summer anthem. And as we this is like, doesn't happen very often when we sit down and write a song, but we worked towards the hook. We just kind of were like, well, let's see where the lyrics take us. We just kind of were writing what we were feeling it was vibing with, and then we landed on like, if you wake up Monday morning still hungover with your friends, you had a good weekend. So it was just like so much fun to write, and that was when I was like, I can do this. I can write. I just need to be more confident in what I'm doing and be strong with my ideas. And I really feel like that song, like it catapulted me in Canada. I like that was my first top 50 radio, and not having a label and not having a huge team, like seeing that happen is really cool. So I really feel like the song kickstarted everything for me.
Well, I can tell you, it's not surprising the top 50 would do that. And of course, you know, like I said, keep climbing and get those stream numbers up. And I love the fact that you were to put a song like that, because we've all been there as far as those good weekends. And remember back in those, or at least for me, those early days when you had, a little too much to drink and you wake up Monday morning. Did that just really occur? Did that happen?
Did that weekend just pull on time warp? Like, where did it go? Yeah.
That was a blur. Where did that go from too? Well, I'll tell you what, Hungover You is the latest single, and you know we're going to have you back too with the new album coming out there in 23. Second performance, I'm setting you up here. I want to hear another one because I love just everything you've put out there, and since we met there a couple of years ago, and definitely can't wait to hear the new tune. So second choice, Hungover You. It's a good idea, right?
Yeah, you read my mind, Brandon.
I guessed it. I tried to. Here we go.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Gotta shut the blinds. Damn, the sun's a little too bright. Shoes next to my bed ain't mine. No. All my friends know that I'm home. They're all calling me to go. Don't know why, but I kinda wanna be alone. Yeah, I'm so down, but up till now I've been going out and having the time of my life. Really thought that I was doing just fine. I drank and smoked and I never said no. Turns out those were vices, 'cause last night I only had a few. So I guess what it's coming down to is I can't blame my boots. I'm all over you. Ooh. In a habit of getting high, but it's really hitting different tonight. Yeah, I've got a problem, thought I was awesome. Now I'm hitting bottom from going out and having the time of my life. Really thought that I was doing just fine. I drank and smoked and I never said no. Turns out those were vices, 'cause last night I only had a few. So I guess what it's coming down to is I can't blame my boots. I'm all over you. Didn't know I needed closure. It's been a roller coaster. Now I've got a heartbreak hangover, 'cause I've been going out and having the time of my life. Really thought that I was doing just fine. Drank, smoked, never said no. Turns out those were faces, 'cause last night I only had a few. So I guess what it's coming down to is I can't blame my books. I'm hungover, you, yeah. I'm hungover, you.
And the best part is, too, like I said, just watching you sing it live, the second best version of that is when you're going down 70, 75 down the freeway in your truck, and that's just booming with your voice, the way that with the actual studio recorded version of it. That's a pretty good feeling to have that played in the background.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, man, because that thing will get you, you feel it. Like I said, we talked about earlier, you feel that excitement and that rise, and then you feel that heartbreak kind of go, oh,
yeah, I'm just, and that was like the whole plan for this entire album is I want to take everybody on a total roller coaster ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
You've
glad
done that too. You've done that too. I actually went to a carnival last week and rode one for the first time in a long time. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the cool thing is it made me think of it. Actually brought back a memory when I first heard it this summer. I was in Edmonton 4 or 5 years ago with some friends on the Edmonton side over there on the west side of Canada.
Cool.
And we went to the big mall there, one of the biggest malls, I guess the largest mall in the area. And they had like an indoor roller coaster. And we went through this whole gaming area in there too. You probably know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the shopping mall with all the stores and stuff like that. But anyway.
Oh, West Ed.
Yeah, West Ed. Yeah, we got to go there. And that roller coaster in there is scary when you first look at it. But when you hear a song like this, you're like, you feel the loops and the turns and things like that upside down.
And the tummy, like the butterflies in your stomach, the drop. Yeah.
The drop. Whoa, okay. And I rode one last week and it made me think about, the Edmonton big mall up there too. And just enjoying that. And that's how the song, it makes you feel with, I guess, heartbreak, yes. But then the fast, which when you hit the chorus, man, it's just like, man, off to the races. I love it.
Thank you.
Great song right there. We'll take a quick time out here for Bangtail Whiskey. Come right back here, put the finishing touches on the show. Of course, Clay Walker tomorrow night at the Golden Nugget. And of course, you're sticking around next week for some great shows. Pat Green, Joe Nichols coming on the show next week. And then here in a few weeks, the legend herself, you know her, you love her, Lori Morgan, coming right here on the Backstage Pass. Looking forward to that. Because what was that big song? Oh, yeah. What part of No Don't You Understand? It was a big hit back in the 90s for Lori Morgan, too, as well. We'll take a quick time out. Got a couple of comments. We'll check into those as we come back. It is the Backstage Pass live on the YouTube channel and powered by the Sports Guys podcast.com. Hang tight.
The Bangtail pour is comprised of a sweet corn mash base. The front has a subtle sweetness and not too sharp. It has notes of a medium char or white oak for a smoky flavor in the middle, and the tail has a super smooth and warm finish.
Go behind the scenes with some of the biggest artists in music today with the Backstage Pass, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. Join Brandon Morrill and his co-host Kirsty Krause as they talk to rising stars and legends about their music careers. Listen to their latest tracks and learn fun facts about the men and women behind the music you love. And be sure to tune into the Backstage Pass Monday through Friday from 3:30 to 6:30, powered by the SportsGuysPodcast.com. And welcome into the Backstage Pass. And, of course, more great shows coming up in November. Stick around. Hunter Girl, Noah Thompson as well out there. Madeline Merlot. We're just trying to keep slaying here on the Backstage Pass in a good way, no doubt about it here. As we're doing it, no doubt. Shantaia joining us here on the show today, again, live on the YouTube channel and, of course, on the website. Thanks to Bangtail Whiskey and our friends over at Hank Jr. Productions. Great company out of Florida. Check out his website, hankjrproductions.com. I'm going to go all the way to England over here because I know one of my buddies, David, tunes in from time to time in Cumbria over in England. And he says, I love this because I was going to ask this question. Wasn't sure if David was going to tune in today too, which is great out there. So we kind of talked about that guitar that you use and how important is it. You got that new baby there sitting in front of you. But he connects it to writing and performing. And how important would you say that is?
So important. Honestly, I don't know that I'd be writing songs if it wasn't for being able to play the guitar. Like, I find it so valuable in a room, and it's the first thing I grab before I do anything else. Like, we sit down to write. I am grabbing the guitar. And this is a Paul Reed Smith PRS A60E, the Angelus body shape, with these beautiful dove inlays. They're gorgeous. So very honored to have been added to the list of artists repping PRS guitars.
That's beautiful, no doubt. And thank you, David. And she did sing one of those songs too as well. And we'll have her back on for the new album. She sang two today. I'm sorry you tuned in late, but it's one of them things.
Like I said, rewatch it.
Yeah, exactly. Rewatch it too. I could have her play another one too. Don't get me started on that too, because I could hear her sing all day long. When I get to Nashville next year, we're going to do that. Find her somewhere if she's there during the event. If she's in town, we'll definitely look you up. And the CRS coverage we're going to do there for March 13 to 15. Looking forward to that too. So if you are in town, count yourself in on my CRS schedule for this particular brand here, no doubt about it. Let me start rapid fire with this. Sports wise, I can tell you this: when it came to the Major League Baseball playoffs, for the Canadian fans out there, it's not looking good for Toronto right now. It's a best of three in a wild card series against the Seattle Mariners. Did you tell me last time you kind of followed the Blue Jays a little bit?
No,
I'm a Blue Jays fan. See, I'm thinking of one of my buddies, a good friend of it too.
I wish I was more in tune with like sports, but I mean, I grew up playing sports. Like I played every single sport and I love playing, but to watch it on a TV makes it, the only thing I truly watch on TV is hockey.
It's hockey. Okay. All right. And your team, your hockey team, was it the Maple Leafs?
Maple Leafs in Canada and the Preds in Nashville,
but
mainly because my cousin used to play for both of them. So he played with the Preds for a few years, lived in Nashville when I think I was probably like 10, 11 years old. And then he went over to the Maple Leafs for a few years. And he's been with the Buffalo Sabres and all the fun stuff.
I've been to, and this is to think back about this, I went to one NHL game many moons ago, some minor league games that we had touched base here in Texas when a couple of different cities had some minor league teams. I'm dying to go to a Preds game. And
they're so much fun.
I've never been to, I saw Bridgestone when I walked by downtown this past year, and just the beautiful, again, Broadway, just everything is so amazing down there. Beautiful skyline of a beautiful city. So if you want to go to a Preds game, let's make it happen.
When you're here, let's grab some tickets.
Let's do some tickets and we'll get our beer but I loved it too. The one I went to before was great. It was a Dallas Stars game, and then I guess I'll take that back. A buddy of mine had some tickets in Florida one time, and we saw the Maple Leafs play the Tampa Bay Lightning just about 4 or 5 years ago. So there was a couple, but I had those no's, so I'm gonna get tickets like down there by the boxes, and
we can make that happen for sure.
I'd like to make some calls. We can make that happen. We're media. Let's just make it happen. What can we say here too as well on the show? All right, favorite foods? Anything new? Anything drinks that you've tried? I know for me lately, it's been like a pizza kick for like Hawaiian pizza and some other like pasta dishes and things like that. Anything new you're getting into?
I mean, when it comes to food, since moving to Nashville, I'm obsessed with Mexican food. My body hates me when I do it, but I love Mexican.
Which is good there. I need to find, what would you say is the number one place for you for Mexican food? What do you like?
Oh, I've got two spots. I've got like one that's very authentic Mexican in East Nashville called El Fuego.
Okay.
They've got a suave frozen margarita that will knock you on your ass, and queso is very good, authentic queso, and the Santa Fe dish. And then Bakersfield has like a pulled pork smoked queso that is to die for, and their tacos are amazing.
All right. So that definitely we're gonna get the ins and outs of this. We got some
all the Mexican places. We can do a segment where we rate all the Mexican places.
Because being a foodie such as myself, let's rate those Mexican restaurants and what we liked and what we didn't, and kind of go through the margaritas. But if it's gonna knock me on my ass, then I'll say shit.
We'll end the night there. Then we'll end the night there.
That works. Preds game. Let's do something like that. Let's have a little fun out there too. And like I said, if my wife's with me, she can get one knocker on her ass too. We'll find a sitter out there somewhere with all that good stuff here too.
Somebody will help you out.
Somebody will help us out too. I tell you guys, go check out shantaiamusic.com. And of course, Hung Over You is the latest single, with more new stuff to come as we knock on the door for 2023. My friend, always great to catch up with you and have a good time on this broadcast, and it never gets old. I always say my returning guests are my favorites here. even with the other stuff that falls into our lap. Hey, continued success going forward, and we're going to do this again real soon, no doubt.
Yeah, well, we'll see you. I mean, there's so much more to come, so I can't wait to talk about it with you.
It's always fun. And Lana, thanks for tuning in too as well. And definitely just David and all the listeners out there. You guys can rewatch it coming up tonight. Talk about all the songs. And if you want to hear her sing, just go back and hit that replay button on the website, the sportsguyspodcast.com. Big show coming up Monday. Caitlin Smith from Sony Music is going to join us on Monday. She's red hot right now. We just caught her at CRS. And, of course, coming back on the program to talk about her latest music. Caitlin Smith next week. Pat Green, Joe Nichols next week on Thursday here on the show to talk about his new album, which is fantastic. If you want a new album to go get beside a single from Shantaia, make sure you go check out Good Day for Living, which came out from Joe Nichols this past February, too, if you're looking for some good music. We'll see you guys Monday with Caitlin Smith on the Backstage Pass. Hopefully, I know Kirsty Krause, Nick Canizales, and, of course, CJ Garton will be joining me as co-host again coming up over the next few weeks. We'll see you guys soon. Have a great night.